Hi everyone, if you're new to Magic and you like heavy hitters, keep watching. Maybe even subscribe. If you're a novice or have Magic experience, like other aspects of Magic instead of fast heavy hitters, hit the little X up in the corner. I'm here to discuss the basics of creating an efficient Affinity deck. It's not obviously pro level, it's basic for local tournaments. I'm going to start off by lands. You want what's called artifact lands. I use Tree of Tales, Ancient Den, Seated Synod, Vault of Whispers. Other land is not an artifact land, but it requires you to have an artifact. Glimmer Void. It's a rare. It adds one color of any mana to your mana pool. And if you don't have any artifacts on the field, by the end of your turn, you have to sacrifice it. There's 5 creatures in this deck. 4 of each. First, Ornithopter. Pays 0 for a 0/2 with flying. Phyrexian Walker. Pays 0 for a 0/3 without flying. Some local places have argued this card, tried to make it restricted. I don't think it's gonna pass. If it does, whatever, it's just 4 slots in your deck. Next, Frogmite. Frogmite costs 4, so it costs 4 mana to play, or 0 if you have 4 artifacts. It's a 2/2 without flying. Next, Mirror Enforcer. Costs 7, free if you have 7 artifacts. 4/4, no flying. The most valuable card, Broodstar. Affinity for artifacts, but you still need to pay 2 islands, which is why I keep Glimmer Voids and Seed of Synoid in my deck. It's flying, and its toughness and power is equal to the amount of artifacts you control. When it comes to sorceries, instants, whatever, there's only one in this deck. You can play it during your turn. It's not an instant. It has affinity and 1 island. It costs 4 and 1 island. You draw 2 cards. When it comes to benefiting your monsters, creatures, monsters, however you want to call them, you have speed and big hits. Where you want the big hits is Cranial Plating. Costs 2 to put out, 1 to equip to a creature, and 2 swamps to use it as an instant to equip it to a creature. The equipped creature gains +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Tooth of Chiscoria. Tooth of Chiscoria is used for either defensive purposes, where you have a smaller creature that needs to take down a big one, or if your hand is bad and all you have out is an Ornithopter and a Tooth of Chiscoria. Ornithopter is a flying usually costs up to 2 unless you're playing a white deck. But just tap it, give an Ornithopter 1 attack power, attack with the Ornithopter. Every damage counts when you're playing Affinity. Card I use, not a lot of Affinity players do it. Lightning Greaves. It costs 2, 0 to equip. Equipped creature gets Shroud and Haste. Shroud means that they can't be the target of spells or abilities. Haste means that the creature can attack when it comes into that turn that it comes into play. One other card is a simple Welding Jar. It's a common. You can pick it up for like 9 cents. It's a free artifact so it contributes to your artifact and affinity and cranial plating. Sorry. You sacrifice it, and you can regenerate a target artifact. So people are less likely to target you if they see this out in the field, but it's an intimidating factor. Also defense. Those are the basics of building an affinity deck. You basically want as many cards to cost 0 mana, and you just shuffle good, play it smart, make sure that when you go to tap mana and play cards, you play the cards in the right order. I've seen many cases where somebody wants to play, like, they would want to play Tooth of Chiscoria for free, but not thinking, they tapped, or they played this with costing 2 mana when they could have just tapped 2 mana, played Cranial Plating, and that would have made Chiscoria free. Just slap it down on the table. I've also seen people not use Lightning Greaves. What's it there for? I personally have had an Ornithopter, 0 flying with a 0/2. I've personally had an Ornithopter hit somebody for 38 damage due to cranial plating, not having a Broodstar out, and facing decks that don't have flying. That's when Ornithopter comes in handy. The best not really combo, but window opener that I use in this deck. Say you have a Broodstar out. You have a bunch of creatures out. It's an end game move. You have more creatures than them, and you have at least 2 Glimmer Voids or Vault of Whispers untapped. 2. Keep cranial plating on the field. Declare your attackers. When they declare their blockers, at the end of that step, pay 2 swamps, move it to the creature that didn't get tapped or get blocked, and that creature is hitting hard. That's basically an intro. I'm going to post another video, a follow-up, on me demonstrating the speed. I'm just gonna random shuffles. There's gonna be no setups, and I'll just play it out. I'll show you. I'll talk you through it, and hit the box over there.